Okay, so hope everyone can hear me and see me. Is it right? Can everyone hear me and see me? Everyone who's here? But I need to hear you, so one moment. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can hear Kit, I can hear you. Yep. And I can see Sila and 11 with enlightened chest tattoo, very enticing. And Kit, I can see you, and I'd like to see more people. Let's consider to turn on our cameras, to share our cameras, if it's possible. Anything that can kind of bring you into the moment, to be vulnerable, to be exposed, to be seen. It's kind of like when we go out, when we are stuck in our room all day and we feel upset, we feel complicated mind, maybe depressed or something like that. And then, well, you wouldn't believe it, but you step outside and you are seen by the birds and the trees and the people, and somehow there is immediately this refreshing state of mind by being exposed, by being vulnerable, by stepping out. And it's also one of the main, I would say it's one of the main supporting factors in meditation practice, is that, you're kind of on the edge of your seat, so to speak. You're on the stage of your life, and on the computer, it can be easy to feel a kind of, I don't know, behind the screen and not really involved, not really present. So it's easy to kind of put forth half effort or give up easily. But when we are, sharing our camera, when we are sharing ourselves in this way, it helps to inspire us. And this talk is only for the people who it's convenient, it's possible for you to share your camera. If you cannot, yeah, it's okay. Not a problem at all if it's not possible for you to do that. And we can say that, what is this? This is a meditation party, as Kit said in the text channel. This is a coming together with some excitement, with some inspiration, with some party favors. All of these people that we see, and all of the Buddhas that we see, all of these supporting and inspiring factors to brighten the mind, to train the mind. And when we are in our normal kind of habitual patterns, we don't feel inspired. It's that switch, that shift is difficult to find. It's difficult to guide ourselves and direct ourselves and to brighten ourselves when we are kind of alone and stuck in the same environment, and all of the same old things around us, and those same old habits and attachments kind of latch on to the environment, and we find ourselves to be in this fog, right? But then we show up to the meditation party, and this opportunity to train the mind, to brighten the mind, it's really here. It is alive and well. So that's where we're at right now. So I see, if you're watching through YouTube and you are planning to join us for this meditation, make sure that you say hello and say how you're doing, where you're watching from. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment. I see Chesh is over there and Stephanie. And here on the Discord, here in our online meditation center space, I can see Blink and Bree, Sela, 11. Yeah, Jacob, Kathleen, Kit, Robert is here, Stephanie is here. I see Anna, Connor, Eric, Faris, Fountains, Jamie, Johnny, Kevin, Noah, Raphael, Vidura, Sela, Samantha, and Ray. So there's a lot to be inspired about. There's a lot to be encouraged about in this recognition of the humanity of the people who are gathered here for the same purpose as we are. That is to practice meditation. So would anyone like to ask any question about this gathering or about meditation before we get into our practice and before we get into some guidance, some guided meditation and community practice? Does anyone have a question, something they want to bring up? Okay. So we start any meditation practice always with an intention. So we have to have a strong and a sincere intention that we want to train the mind, that we want to know about the truth, that we want to face our life as it is right now. It's just like having the intention to go on a hike. Okay, you want to go on a trip, you want to go on a hike. You heard that there is a beautiful place, maybe 1 mile, 2 miles away, whatever it might be, and you have gathered together with a lot of people, 25 people going on a hike. I mean, that's pretty exciting stuff. You've gathered with these people, right, to go on a hike to this place. What is most important and what is essential for everyone to have? It's that intention to go there. A hike is not a bathtub. A hike is not a drive-through at the fast food place. Okay? A hike is not sleeping. There's a difficulty. There is a effort that you need to put forth. There is an expectation that you will encounter rocks and bugs and heat and cold and all manner of things that you're going to encounter on a hike. So you need to have a real intentionality, a real sincere intention to go on that hike. If you give up halfway, that's really inconvenient for yourself and for everyone. But in this case, even if we give up halfway, we can give up partly, not fully. So if while we are practicing meditation with our determination and our sincerity and our intensity, we're really trying to practice, and then we feel overwhelmed or we feel exhausted or we feel that we can't continue, the hike, the trail is too steep, we can lay down. We can stand up and stretch. We can emphasize to relax and be together with this community and be in a mindset of practice, a mindset of facing our life. And this is a way that we can continue on the hike. We can continue our practice even if we encounter difficulty by changing our position or laying down and continuing to stay just in this zone of meditative practice, this zone of introspection and contemplation and a sincerity to face this moment. So having that intentionality and having that sincerity to practice meditation, and recognizing that right now there are a lot of supporting causes and conditions to meditate. So it's a good time to try it out. It's a good time to really put forth our effort. We start by finding a comfortable meditation position. We might cross our legs. We might sit in a yogic position, like a half lotus or a really special kind of meditation position, but we don't need to sit that way. We just need to sit comfortably and with stability and with uprightness. We sit with our shoulders back and our spine straight, our chest open, stomach open. There's a saying for meditation to have a strong back and a soft front. So to really sit upright and with a stability of the spine and the back. But your front, your stomach, you leave soft, you leave open. You let the breath happen in a gentle way, in a natural way. We don't need to be rigid about our breathing. And if there is rigidity, if there is tightness in our breathing, in our stomach, we're just gentle about that. We're soft about that. We're willing to breathe with that. In meditation, we are fully willing to face everything, to be with everything. Convenient, inconvenient, mystical and spiritual, and wow. And also, oh my goodness, this is really taking a long time. We face all of it. We're willing to be with all of it. And we use a tool to do that. We use a tool to face and to continue being with and continue showing up to this moment. And we call that tool our meditation method. So it's the way that we concentrate the mind, or we direct the mind in a particular way. And the first part of that meditation method is that we find a comfortable, stable position to sit, for our body to be still and comfortable and also upright. As we find ourselves to be sitting in that position, we can give our full attention to this process of breathing and really breathe deeply. Take two or three deep breaths. Thich Nhat Hanh says that we breathe in deeply and bring the mind home to the body. We bring our heart and we bring our mind home to the body at this moment. And as we do that, can let the body become even more comfortable, relaxed and stable. Simple position. And we start to take as our primary activity. There's many things to do in life. We start to take as our primary activity, the only thing to do right now, breathing. This act of giving life. This very simple and direct way of taking care of ourselves, giving our full attention to ourselves at this moment with the breath, breathing in. Sitting still and just breathing. As we are just breathing, let the body become even more still, even more relaxed, even more comfortable. Allow your mind to come home more and more fully to the body. And those distractions and extra thinking, we don't make a big deal out of it, even if we get very involved with it. Don't make a big deal. Come back to your body, sitting here, relaxing, sitting still, and just breathing. This is a kind of breathing that is not related to a goal. It's not related to an expectation. It's not related to having a certain kind of experience. It's just breathing. And that is at this moment what we give our full attention to. Just breathing. All of those distractions or disturbances, friction, static, it's not about dealing with them. It's not about them coming up is you not meditating correctly. This is your mind. This is your life. This is what you're experiencing right now. Really, it is. So we experience that, and rather than get involved in it, which is what we're always doing, we've already primed ourselves to meditate. We've already gotten ourselves to this position. I like to say there's no better time to meditate than in the midst of meditation. So as those distraction, as those kind of confusions come up, we lean more into relying on just breathing. It's like a freedom. It's this opportunity, this opening that we don't always have. And that just breathing means that we feel all aspects of the breath. We feel the breath in the body. We feel how our body is affected by the breathing. and we experiment with how we breathe. Maybe breathing deeply will help. Maybe breathing at a little bit of a faster pace might help. Who knows? We're here to experiment, to face, to just breathe, to be with that dimension, that part of our humanity. This gift and this freedom of the only thing we have to do right now is just breathe. Breathing and facing, being with, showing up. Just breathing. And these distractions, these interruptions in our just breathing, the sun rising on a new day. And it is exactly these distractions, these problems and thoughts and complicatedness of our judgments about feelings in the body or the mind. It is precisely these experiences in our meditation that show us the path. Wow, I can have a complicated thought or anxiety, or my body feels uncomfortable. And instead of falling into this never ending tumble, I can come back to the breath. I can return to this practice of simplicity and openness to this moment. Just breathing. Taking a deep breath in, we can bring our awareness to the whole body, breathing and being aware of the whole body sitting here. Experiencing this state, this direct experience of the whole body sitting here right now, breathing. Look at that state, that experience with a kind of curiosity. Your whole body is just sitting here right now. Breathing and feeling that exfoliating all aspects of your awareness inside of your body. If your body was at the bottom of the ocean and you were awake and aware, you would certainly be curious about it. If your body had ascended to some kind of celestial realm, some kind of spiritual dimension, you would be curious about it, your body sitting here. So at this moment, breathing in deeply and being curious about the fact that the body is sitting here right now. It's not in any other place. It's not in any other time. It's sitting right here, just breathing, just being aware. So, as we are coming to the later points in our time together, I will offer a reading of some Zen teachings, some Zen style teachings. So make sure you're comfortable, but you're also encouraged to stay in your meditative way, stay close to your meditation practice, and can listen to these teachings together. When doing meditation, don't fear dying and being unable to come to life. Just fear living without being able to die. If you are able to stay right with the feeling of wonder, curiosity, interest, exploration, states of agitation will spontaneously disappear without having to be dispelled. The wandering mind, not W-A-N, but W-O-N, the wondering mind, the curious mind, the exploration quality of mind, the wondering mind will spontaneously be clear without having to be cleared. All the senses will naturally be open, immediately effective and responsive. So why worry about not coming to life? Why worry about not experiencing this opening, this freedom, this peace? When you're meditating efficiently, it is like carrying a half-ton load that you can't put down even if you try. Like looking for something essential that's been lost, unwilling to relax until it's found. Just don't get fixated, infatuated, or philosophical. Fixation produces sickness. Infatuation produces bedevilment. And philosophizing produces cultism. When you actually attain single-mindedness and total concentration, it is like looking for something lost. Then those three types of problems, sickness, bedevilment, and cultism, melt into irrelevance. As it is said, if you excite the mind and stir thoughts, you turn away from the substance of reality. When a cat is getting ready to pounce on a mouse, even if there is a chicken or a dog nearby the cat, the cat pays no attention, because it's only intent on catching the mouse. Those who practice Chan, those who practice Zen meditation, should also be like this. It is just a matter of determination to understand this principle, such that no matter what happens, you don't have time to pay any mind. The moment you give credence to any other thought, not only do you lose the mouse, but even the cat as well. The substance of your mind is apart from annihilation and apart from eternity. The essence of your mind is neither polluted nor pure. Calm and complete, it is equal in ordinary people and sages. Functioning responsively without convention or contrivance. All realms of experience and all states of being are only manifestations of your own mind. Do the moon reflected in water or images in a mirror have origination and extinction? If you actually know this, you are fully equipped. The reason that the enlightened ones have manifested a spiritual presence to provide those who can understand, and have set forth a wide variety of puzzling sayings, is simply to illustrate the fundamental peace of the body of reality, bringing about a return to the root. The reason that enlightened beings have manifested a spiritual presence in the world to provide people who can understand, and have set forth a wide variety of puzzling sayings and teachings, is simply to illustrate the fundamental peace of the body of reality, bringing about a return to the root. I always feel when we come together in these meetings that I find the 100-year-old root of peace in my life. And it seems to only take a little bit of digging, not even needing a tool, but just a little bit of moving the dirt around to see what's underneath, to find this root of peace that is at the core of the body of reality. It's just a matter of our willingness to show up and look, our willingness to face the dirt, so that we can find this 100-year-old root of peace, many more than 100 years old, root of peace that is right here at the core of our lives. So everyone is encouraged to slowly move their body and to stretch, and can also massage your face and your head. So I find myself to be at this moment a Buddhist monk, and to be in the position of a some kind of teacher or leader. And I find that there are many people who show up. Maybe I can't see them, maybe I can't hear them, but somehow I believe in them, that they are here. And the truth is that I don't have anywhere to lead anyone. And I also don't really have anything to teach. So it's almost unfair for me to be in this position of such responsibility and such kind of convenience for me, because I am so inspired by everyone here. And when I come here and practice, it's just like a bright light in my day, in my life. So I feel a lot of appreciation for you all being here. And certainly I feel a lot of appreciation for the Buddhist teachings and the meditation practice. At this time, we can open up the space for some sharing and to ask some questions or to share something, express something. Please feel that there is an opening for you to share and to be vulnerable. If you have something that you like to bring up, there are a lot of people here listening sincerely, and it's a good time to bring up something that is meaningful to you. Yeah, thank you, Kit. I had the same experience today. I was feeling a bit restless. This is one of the hindrances. This is one of the standardized states of mind that are barriers to our peace and our development in meditation, hindrances to progress on the path, restlessness. And so at a certain point I was laying down and I also felt sick, and we have a COVID outbreak here at the temple. More than 50% of the people have gotten sick and have COVID. So maybe I do have COVID, but the moment that I stepped out, and I step out a lot of times, I go into this space of feeling a little bit restless or depressed or stuck or kind of wrapped up in this cocoon of a suffering, mental sickness or physical sickness. And I felt physically sick also when I was in that cocoon, that space, restlessness. But stepping out there is an immediate relief. There is an immediate change. And when we practice meditation, when we are practicing meditation, it's like continuously stepping out. It's like continuously opening up the door and experiencing the fresh air. And I experienced the same thing that you did. Before I felt sick, I thought, I'm sick. That's why I feel restless, or that's why it's kind of an off day. But after practicing, and even before that, after, stepping out, the sickness seems to be vanish with no effort, really. It's just to step out. It's just to be there. It's just to show up. I think we give the effort to kind of staying in that restlessness or that miserable feeling, that tension feeling. We hold on to that static. But if we just can step out, it can kind of disappear on its own. Jacob, did you want to share something?
Talked about just getting like really wrapped up in distractions and stuff, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit how much I struggle with that just because of like how aware I am of like how much of a problem how many problems it causes for me. And I saw this event on the Discord that was just be it would have just been 30 minutes that I had to wait for it to start, but I instead just like started watching Star Trek, and I closed my laptop, and like my laptop does this thing where like sometimes it'll just like keep playing a video um even though it's closed, and I was just like in the middle of the Star Trek episode, and I just heard your voice. And I'm like, "Oh, that's probably a sign that I need to do this and not, you know, constantly be watching this like really corny TV show that doesn't like benefit me in any way." So yeah, that's just kind of I just wanted to share, and I'm really glad that I decided to sit in on this. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Thank you, Jacob. That's awesome. That's a good deal, right? And that's kind of how it usually works, you know. The Not everything is our flavor. You know, this way of practice and the what I offer, you know, what I facilitate and present is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and it's not always going to be everyone's cup of tea. Some people may enjoy to practice in this space in this way for a period of time, and in the future it may not be comfortable for them or ideal, but the facing ourselves, the enduring intimacy with our body and our breath and our mind, that is always going to work. You know, it's just it works. So whatever can support us to do that, a laptop that doesn't go to sleep when you close it, that's great. You can be thankful for your laptop today.
I would like to say something.
I tend to practice a more active form of meditation. And so as I sat in with everybody today, watching everybody in just a stasis and moving through each of the patterns as we did was an absolutely fantastic accompaniment to my own mere cleaning of the house as I was meditating along with you. And so I very much appreciate all of you for being here and to be here myself.
Thank you, Ren.
I would like to thank you, Bante, and the community. It's a great experience. Uh, it's amazing to able to just sit 2 seconds from bed, sit at your chair, and just totally disconnect from around everything around you, and just be spiritual. Like I don't know, I've meditated before, but when you this in these sessions when you guide us, they are more intense. I feel like they're more. I can get deeper my spirituality. I felt like a stone at some point. Like I was in another realm. Fantastic. I love it. And at the same time, I feel now I feel so calm. I feel so relaxed. It's really it's neglected to meditate. I think everybody should do it since they're. Thank you.
Thank you, 11. You know, we have someone here at the temple named 7. And
Yeah, I know. I got a friend named Seven as well.
yeah. And what country are you from, 11?
Originally, I'm from Nicaragua, but
Ah,
I live in Denmark. Yes,
in Denmark.
yes.
That's what it sounds like. You know, it sounds like you're a Nicaraguan native living in Denmark from your accent. Um, so I don't know if you have 7-Elevens in Denmark, but here in
We
America,
have
they're
7-Elevens.
they're all over the place. Thailand too. Thailand is 7-Eleven Central. So
That's why
the
I call
two of
myself
you,
11 because it clanks with Kevin 11.
yeah, good. And it's all about continuing. It's all about doubling down. It's like being a gambler who doesn't stop until they lose the house, the home, the everything. We practice meditation like that. And the truth is that you don't know if you're going to win. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to lose. You just invest. You just double down. You just get more and more deeper into your practice. And you know, the more deeply that we get into our own practice, the more that we can consider what our practice needs, what the supportive factors we need to bring to our practice. So, especially something like metta, loving kindness, or we need to listen to more Dharma talks, we need to listen to more really developed teachers talking about meditation or talking about a different certain aspects of meditation, and we can just bring more and more of what we need. But the core of it is the showing up. It's just like becoming successful at any job. If you don't show up, you're going to get fired. You're not going to be you're not going to become successful in any way. So it's just show up again and again and again. Find a way to show up every day. Find a way to have either a meditative practice every day, something that's meditation based, or listening to a very high level talk from a very based person, like Ajahn Brahm, something like that, or act of goodness each day, an act of generosity, an act of companionship, an act of care. Call your parents, call a relative, call someone who you know is a unpleasant person, right? I mean, why are people unpleasant? Well, it's because they're suffering. And if
I
you're
can already.
a
Sorry.
friend of them, then you can call them. You try to help them.
Uh, yeah, I've actually already like it's been a week. I think it's my fourth time this session, the community. I can already feel the changes in my life. Like, I can already see them. Like the small things, like just being generous in places where I wasn't before, without even so natural. So it's amazing. I'm so grateful.
Glad that you're here.
I have a slightly tangential question. Have you ever heard of Marcus Aurelius?
I'm gonna go get a kitten, and then we'll continue. We'll answer that question. Okay.
Most excellent.
the plot twist is going to be that the kitten is named Marcus Aurelius.
I really, really hope so.
Now you jinxed
And
it.
for any of you who do not know, he was one of the last emperors of the Holy Roman Empire. He was Stoic, and he has a public of works called Reflections, and they're I very much enjoy them.
Oh,
So cute.
So
Oh.
sweet.
is it the kitten who was really sick?
Yeah, I'm taking it to the veterinarian tomorrow because it has eye problems.
Hello. Hello. Oh my goodness.
I wish I could show you my spider, but I don't know where it is.
All right. So, any other? I do know about Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism.
What's its name? What's the cat's name? Oh,
I don't know.
oh.
So, any final questions before we wrap up today?
Only if you
Yeah.
have any additional.
Yeah, I had one question, if I could ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any recommendations for any suttas or visualization practices for somebody who's practicing celibacy?
For practicing celibacy, I don't know about. I think the opposite of what you want to do is visualize things. The creativity that goes into visualization is often a similar kind of creativity that tends to go into lust, right? Imagining lustful situations. So, if you are practicing celibacy, you're going to have a lot of extra energy. And so, in managing that energy, you should try to be more generous, doing more good deeds, doing more activities of goodness, and celibacy is a long process. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to practice, and you just need to determine that it's something that is really important to you and something you want to continue coming back to. And, over time it becomes easier. Over time it becomes more accessible because you're less enamored by this prospect of sexual experiences. But also you need to look into the avenues of meaningfulness in your life, because for a lot of people, sexuality is where they find a lot of their meaning, and it makes sense because it's very evolutionary to find meaning in sexuality. But if you're going to be detaching from that, you need to find meaningfulness in your life through other dimensions. So I can't think of any sutras. I wouldn't recommend visualization practices, although you can kind of visualize the unpleasantness of the body in the bones and blood and pus. And when it comes to the kind of lustful feeling about other human beings, you can think about pretty morbid stuff. Think about the skin splitting. Think about the blood, kind of any nasty aspect or unpleasant aspect that goes along with having a body, which is most of what goes along with having a body, can help to detach from that sensuality. But it's a long process, celibacy, and definitely using more of your energy is going to help you manage that. If you have a lot of extra energy, if you're not doing much during the day, when the night comes or when that period of time comes where your lust is inspired, it's going to be very difficult to ignore that or to redirect that attention. Okay.
To add another, go ahead,
Go ahead.
Antoine. Just to add another little nugget. There's a quote that I heard recently of men quarrel most with what they're most often surrounded. And a piece of that really resonated with myself is when I'm not a celibate human, but I'm a quite sexual human, and so like when the lust begins to surround or cloud the mind, I tend to recognize what individually triggered those thoughts if I'm able to identify that, and to place myself as quickly as I can in a situation that is not representative of whatever those roots were. And so essentially change your scenery, change your breath, change the way that you move, and potentially that will help separate your mind from those thoughts when they really come raging.
Okay. Thank you, Ren. Anyone else?
Hello, Bonte.
Hello.
Hi. Um, First time really speaking to the community, but I'm very happy that this is here. It's been very helpful. Um, on my mind currently are some of the things going on in the States. I'm a teacher, and specifically the uh, school shooting that occurred in Texas very recently, and I'm just trying to work with that and think of how I can use some of these ideas to help my students and myself.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but yesterday we had a bit of a service here that you may find helpful. Talked about some points in relation to the shooting and these kinds of things. It's a very human situation. This this kind of act. We tend to be not very cognizant of that, but this is a very normal thing for human beings to do to each other throughout human history. It's not good, of course. It's not shouldn't be normalized, but it's something that happens. It's a part of human nature. So rather than worrying about fixing it or solving it through many different means, which is, really worthwhile activity, and hopefully, that this problem is tackled from many, many dimensions, different dimensions. I think one of the best things that we can do is use this as a kind of inspiring condition to really deepen our presence in school, in our role of social responsibility, social relationships. It's not something to take lightly. Responsibility as a teacher or as a leader or a facilitator, or someone who is endeavoring to take care of other people. It's really the whole purpose of being here as a human being, right? Is to do good and to help. And I think in this situation, bringing that that real compassionate intentionality and that groundedness, that simplicity, that wholeheartedness that we can develop in meditation, bringing that to your classroom, and being open with the kids to listen to them deeply. And when we practice mindfulness, when we practice meditation like this, we bring a certain quality of mind into our own life. And when we bring that in, we can offer that. We can facilitate a space that also has that quality. So as you practice more regularly, as you emphasize more and more compassion, loving friendliness, this wish to alleviate the sufferings of others, you can be more able to facilitate that kind of energy, that kind of environment, that kind of teaching in your classroom. And I think that's what we really need as a society, is not so much the blame or the upsetness about the situation. Of course, it's upsetting, and there's plenty of blame to go around, but more the compassionate intention that is embodied and shared in social spaces.
Thank you.
And just our intention that we connect with a lot and exfoliate, and you bring more and more sincerity to it. I really do want to help. I really do want to bring this quality of peace and safety to my classroom and to my students. That intention is at the core of following through. So the more that you can find your intentionality, the more that you can really embody it practically as well. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, so we can all bring our hands together, and we'll finish our session today by giving ourselves a pat on the back and expressing our recognition of the skillfulness of our activities together with the saying of this word, sadhu, which means excellent, wonderful, fantastic. So we can all do this closing chant together. Sadhu. 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 Okay, thank you all for being here. Hope to see some of you, all of you, many of you tomorrow at the same time. All right? Take care. Be happy.
Bye. Take care.
Good night.
Thank you, Bante. Thank you all.